Welcome to Project Star, yet another Roblox JoJo game. This game released not too long ago, so I figured I'd give you all my 2 cents over it, and my thoughts on the game. When you first start out in the game, you do a quest to beat up Tom, one of the combat trainers. I guess this part is just to familiarize yourself with their combat system. After you go through your long battle with Tom, you are thrown into the game without instruction. I actually didn't manage to figure out what I was supposed to do or where I was supposed to go, but it did take me a little while before I figured out where the main quest line was. But after that, everything went alright as far as the storyline was concerned. This game is built like your typical grindy bandit beat-em-up. You find items around the map to get stands, and the stands can have different attributes and skins. There are currently 15 stands in the game, and those are Tower of Grey, the Emperor, Judgment, Hermit Purple, Hierophant Green, Silver Chariot, the Fool, Horus, Magician's Red, Death 13, Cream, Star Platinum, the Sun, Prime Star Platinum the World, and the World. There are also several stand attributes in the game, giving your stand a buff or a debuff based on which one you get. They all have different rarities and effects, so I'll give you a list of them now. The speed buffs are Fast, with a 5% chance giving you plus 2 speed, Speedy, with a 1% chance giving you plus 3.5 speed, and Supersonic, with a 0.2% chance giving you plus 10 speed. The health buffs are Healthy, with a 2% chance giving you plus 15 health, Fit, with a 1% chance giving you plus 2 speed and plus 25 health, and Hardy, with a 0.5% chance giving you plus 50 health. The defense buffs are Strong, with a 5% chance giving you plus 1.1 times damage, and Powerful, with a 2% chance giving you 1.25 times damage. The damage and defense debuffs are Weak, with a 5% chance giving you minus 1 speed, minus 5 defense, and 0.9 times damage. Coward, with a 2% chance, minus 5 speed, minus 15 defense, and 0.8 times damage. Unfortunate, with a 1% chance, giving you minus 30 defense and 0.5 times damage. And Tragic, with a 0.1% chance, giving you minus 2 speed, minus 20 health, minus 50 defense, and 0.25 times damage. And last but not least, the damage and defense buffs. Heroic, with a 0.2% chance, which gives you plus 15 health, plus 15 defense, and 1.5 times damage. Legendary, with a 0.05% chance, giving you plus 25 health, plus 50 defense, and 2 times damage. And Godlike, with a 0.005% chance, giving you 50 health, plus 125 defense, and 3 times damage. Now, the last thing I would want to do is summarize the entire review into something that goes along the lines of, this game will take up hours of your time, however, more than half of that time will be grinding and not exactly having fun. But I almost have to, as it would seem that the game was built to be another semi-grinding simulator, with the payoff of grinding being not all that much. So let's take a closer look at a few things. Project Star's arrow and roca use do not reset your character like most other JoJo games do, such as a Universal Time and YBA. The flow of using an arrow and a roca go right back into the gameplay. Another thing to note is the arrow use animation and the effects. The animations are extremely smooth and very eye-pleasing. The same goes for the effects. I could sit here and watch the animations and effects for days on end, and that would be the entire game for me. Now, the arrow and roca use animations and effects aren't the only smooth thing in the game. The same would apply to all of the stand summon, desummon, and attack animations. The fact that Project Star only has stands and items from parts 1 through 3 sets it apart from almost all of the other JoJo games. Considering Part 3 is a very large fan favorite, and for some reason a lot of JoJo fans stop at Part 3, choosing to contemporarily limit to parts 1 through 3 was a good idea. The arrows in the game also have different tiers, and there are 4 currently in the game. We start off with the basic stand arrow, which has a 1% rarity multiplier, and then the unusual stand arrow with a 1.5 times rarity multiplier. And then the best arrow that currently spawns on the map is the Gleaming Arrow, which has a 2x rarity multiplier. Now the best stand arrow that is currently in the game is the Cursed Arrow, which gives you an outstanding 100x rarity multiplier, but the only way to obtain it is by buying it with Robux or going to Darby's Wheel of Fortune. There are also several accessories in the game, giving various buffs to your character or your fighting style, some of which you can buy, but these are primarily obtained by killing bosses or in Darby's Wheel of Fortune. I don't really want to dive into explaining the combat in the game, but I will give my opinion on it. The combat in Project Star is absolute garbage. There is no end stun on any combo starters, meaning your opponent can immediately attack you after you do 3 M1s, and they can even attack you during your M1s, meaning they can just use a get out of stun free move by ragdolling you. You will find most of your frustration with this while fighting bosses, as they usually have a decent stun move, and it sometimes just slips right through the M1 stun. A question I have to ask is, why can you be damaged while ragdolled? Not only is this annoying because you have no chance of fighting back while being ragdolled, it also sets you up for having even more stun upon get up, which then just leads right back into having your opponent get even more damage on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. My general opinion of the combat can be seen as a little harsh, as it's very blunt, but it's simply what I believe and what I've seen while playing the game. The map is very large, and for a first-time player can get very confusing. If you are first starting out in the game, you will 9 times out of 10 get lost just inside of the city. This is not including the outside areas of the map, including the garden, which is the current best place for farming roca fruits. However, I can only applaud them for the map as it's very large and has a lot of room for different NPC locations. The game has very good animations and effects, which would attract the average player. The map is very large, with ample room to move around. The beginning of the game can get confusing, but once you get the slightest grasp, you know what you're doing. It is a bit grindy, including the stand attributes and levels, which are a big part of the game. This makes it so you need to level up to a certain level in order to even use some of the moves your stand has. So, I would say my overall rating of the game would be a solid 6 out of 10. I would find myself playing this game while I'm bored, or with one or a couple other friends, but it would definitely not be my go-to game when I'm looking to play. As always, ladies and gentlemen, the Discord is in the description. And I'm not exactly sure how, but if you leave a like on the video, it somehow helps me out. Of course, I'd only advise this if you did like the video, and I would only naturally say the same about subscribing. Until next time.